Today, we will be looking at a tool from a company that is slowly becoming my favorite plier style tool company, and that would be Knipex 9511 225 StepCut XL cable shears, 9-inch handles. These particular ones just kind of came across my feed as I was scrolling through stuff. I think these are relatively new. I mean, I got them, so they're not that new. It didn't take me that hard of a try to get them. Usually, the really new stuff you can't get, especially from this particular company because everyone wants it. But yeah, I mean, they're basically just cable shears and strippers and what have you. And yeah, for years and years and years, I've used this style right here. And yeah, they're a little tough when you get into the bigger cables, and especially now with the old man hands starting to feel the pain as I'm really squeezing onto stuff. I got dirty. Yeah, I figure I give these a try. Like I said, anything I've ever gotten from Knipex, I've been happy with. So yeah, I got some cables we can cut through. Maybe we'll make a cable. We'll go through the specs when we face the camera down, and yeah, see what we think about them. Let's get into it. So this is them fresh out of the package. I mean, not much to see here. It's pretty much what you get with every set of Knipex cutters or pliers that you get. It does say do not or do not cut steel, duly noted. Speaking of the packaging, you got yourself just a basic cardboard box, drop ship packaging. Plastic sleeve inside, made in Germany, model numbers, you know, all the stuff that we already know. So let's move on. So getting into these specs on the thing. These will cut solid copper wire or aluminum up to 2/0, which is pretty freaking thick for solid copper wire. So that's cool. I'll never use them for that. Anything that thick, I'm not touching that kind of electricity. More on my end of the things, it will cut fine stranded wire up to 4/0. For those of you who don't know, not living in America here, our gauge wires 0 up would be everything gets smaller as far as the numbers get bigger, and then 0 down the numbers get bigger and the cable gets bigger. Moving on, the tool is made out of tool steel, forged and oil hardened, which is nice. They're claiming a 56 HRC hardness, and again with the 9-inch length on them. And as far as fit and feel goes with them, you got the Knipex branding right there. You have kind of a straight jobby right here. I'm guessing so you can kind of really, I guess, probably be more comfortable that way. But yeah, it's nice to see that they kind of omitted any kind of stop on the inside here. So when you're, you know, giving it the good one for the 4/0 cable, yeah, you're not gonna pinch your fingers or pinch the meaty part of the inside of your hand in there. I do like that. I also like the bolt for the inside for the hinge, which is nice because inevitably these things are going to get worn, and then that's gonna be loose, and then these keys are gonna come floppy, and you just go in there with what looks like a Torx and give her a good tightening up. Now, I'm thinking what the concept is with these, which makes them better than just your standard cable cutters, would be these here profiles on the actual jaws here. You're kind of looking at, I mean, you got a little bump right there. On this side, you got a dish with a bump and then a pokey thing, and then another bump over there. And what that basically does is just allows you to apply more pressure. You know, it's a difference of someone poking you in the chest with their finger, and then, you know, poking you in the chest with a screwdriver. The screwdriver is going to hurt more because it's got less surface area there, and that's what this is kind of doing. Instead of trying to chunk a big cable off on one fell swoop, you would be able to kind of chop it down a little bit at a time. Let me grab my other ones. So these are the ones I've been using for, I don't know, the past 4 years or so. These are Crescent's Wise brand. I can't even really read the logo on the things anymore. I mean, these are decent enough. When you start getting into the aughts, as far as the cable sizes go, these are kind of putting a little extra stress on the old man hands there. But yeah, I mean, basically the difference is with the jaws that's going on here. So as you can see with this, I kind of use my finger as a example, which would probably be close to like a 2/0. Yeah, you're kind of grabbing and trying to cut all this at once, whereas to these guys here, you know, stick your finger in there, you got probably 6 different angles that you're going to be chomping away at this thing and kind of making the cut a little bit easier. We're going to check that out in a minute here. So what do you say we get these guys out of the way? I got a whole bunch of different cables all the way up to 2-aught, and let's start chopping cables and see how they feel. All right, so how about we start off with this black wire here, which I believe is 4 gauge. Pretty much this would be the smallest I would bother grabbing these for. I mean, technically, you could probably get a set of lineman pliers and cut these. I'm pretty sure you'd be all right with, but yeah, like I said, with these ones, the only ones that I really struggle with these would be the 2-aught and the 4-aught. 4-aught's pretty much the biggest I'll run into on my day-to-day there. Yeah, and I only got one customer with batteries. They got these quick charge, opportunity charge batteries, and they got big fat cables on them. And when I'm replacing tips on them, yeah, it's tough to get through with these. So that's why I'm kind of hoping these will come in. But you know, let's give it a try as far as the cutting action goes. You could probably just cut it right here, couldn't you? Yeah, kind of gives it a nibble, go into the full throat of the thing. Yeah, that's a definite one-hand operation. Let's see how we could strip them. Stripping don't go too bad. I bet you could kind of use this to kind of score it too, couldn't you? Or just pull it off. Yeah, not bad at all. And now we got some 2 gauge, just a little bit bigger. Again, we'll go full throat with them. Not bad at all. That was definitely easy enough. Stripping. Yep, they strip nice too. And then we got 2-aught, which is kind of standard for your sit-down style forklift, which is the stuff that I'm going to be running into pretty much on a daily basis. But this one, again, we'll try cutting it from do the nibble trick here. Not bad. And then you come in with the other end of it. That's not bad at all. Let's try with the old crescent jobbies to see if I could feel that much of a difference. Yeah, definitely easier with the Knipex. So I just grabbed this out of my junk bin. This is just kind of a crusty kind of wire. It's not as nice as this stuff that I got over here. And yeah, let's see how it cuts this. This, I believe, is also, yeah, this is 2 gauge. Not bad. A little bit thicker strain on that wire as well. And just for a real world scenario, I grabbed this off of a job I was doing, I think Wednesday or Thursday. And it's just basically an adapter. The customer has fast chargers, and their pallet jacks are using 170 SB175 connectors, and the chargers are 350s, SB 350s. I had to make up a new cable, but I think, you know, real world scenario would be cutting this off, stripping it back, and then putting a new connector on it. We won't put the connector on it, but we'll do what the cutters are supposed to do. And again, this is 2-aught cable. Ooh, that's tough. There we go. Definitely a 2-hand operation, but yeah, it did it. As far as stripping it goes, man, this wire they use is crusty. There you go. It did it. Not too bad. Again, thin gauge, well, thin stranded wire. So yeah, I mean, they cut, they strip, everything's fine with them. They're you know what you would expect from a Knipex product. So what do you say we kind of clear the field here and do a little bit of real world scenario and make ourselves a connector, see how that works out, and yeah, we'll close this guy out. All right, well, we got ourselves a 4 gauge eyelet, brass, copper, whatever, and kind of come down here, give us a good decent measurement, come over here, get her in there, give her a good strippy without taking too much copper with it. There we go. Slip the old connector in there like so with all the wires. Let's try. And this is my generic HYCLAT hydraulic crimping toolkit. I've had this thing for years, and it's actually works out really good for me. I'm pretty sure the die that's in there should be the one that I need, because that's the last one I used. But yeah, this thing's nice for what it is. I think it was like, I can't remember what it was. It was around the $50 range. But yeah, I've had this thing for a while. It does everything up to 2 watt. It's mostly intended for this style connector. I can't remember what the heck they're called, but the thicker wall ones. But you could take the thin wall copper jobbies and, you know, do it wrong enough and make it work. But yeah, I like this little thing. It works out pretty good. If it's still available, I'll link it down there in the descriptions for any of you guys looking for something a little bit better than the old, you know, hammer and anvil type thing where you just kind of smash the ends off of them. Hey, you do what you got to do to get it done. But yeah, this works out pretty good. So we got the old guy here. This is going to be fun to do on camera. I usually try to stick it so the eyelet lines up with the jaws, so they're parallel, I guess would be the word that I should be using. Tighten that down, give it a quick who's a what's it? Let her crimp down. Hit the release. There you go. You know, nice little connector there. Put some heat shrink on it, warm it up, and yeah, you almost look like a professional. Well, to quote Forrest Gump, that's about all I got to say about that. I mean, they cut, they strip. They'll even cut the insulation off if you do it right. And yeah, they definitely seem like they take a lot less force on the old meat hooks here to cut a cable, especially compared to the old go-to style with these kind of half moon style cutters. So yeah, I like them. I'm gonna throw them in the old toolbox. I'll hold on to these, and next time the old apprentice asks me for a set of cable covers, I'll give him these, and I don't have to worry about getting mad when he uses these to actually cut a steel cable. So yeah, that's about it. Let's close it out. So that was the Knipex StepCut XL cable shears. Yeah, I mean, they work great. I mean, what more can you say about them? They're Knipex. I have no doubt that they'll continue to work great over time, like anything else I've gotten from them. I like them. They're, like I said, they're a little pricey if you're comparing them to like the garbage that you get at Harbor Freight. I think these were around $60. I think these Crescent brands were around $40 4 years ago at Lowe's or Home Depot or something like that. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with these. It's just they're a little hard to kind of really get, especially when you're getting to those 4-gauge cables. I don't have 4-gauge cable to actually test these on, so I'm sure at some point in time, by the time I post this video, I'll have to replace one of the cable ends on one of those forklifts with the 4-gauge on it, and I'll know for sure. But I'll just have a package. They're definitely going to be easier than these old guys, because I mean, these were almost to the point where you wanted to put the handles in the vise to get them to cut. So yeah, something nice to save my old hands. So yeah, I'll link these down in the description if you are interested in them. Also, if I can find it, like I said, I bought this years and years ago. This little cable crimper. If I could find it, I'll link it down there. I could definitely stand by this thing as much as I used it. Like I said, not that expensive. I'm thinking if you're doing like 30 cable crimps a day, you're probably going to want to get something electric. But if you're like me and you're just doing onesie twosies here and there, this thing works fine for it. And it makes a lot better crimp than, like I said, the old hammer and anvil style one where you just smash the darn thing. But yeah, that's about it for that. Any questions, comments, concerns, leave them down in the old comment section. I will do my best to get back to you, and I'd like to thank you for watching. There you go.